gonna try something new today. We're gonna speed run. DaVinci Resolve tutorial. And the effect we're going to speed run is the iconic Star Wars title crawl. Oh yeah, so I guess 3, 2, 1, let's go. New timeline. Gonna go with 24 cinematic frames today. Fusion composition. Adding a text layer. Connecting it. Having the text you wanna crawl prepped, paste it into here. It's a twist on the classic version. Font's too big, make it smaller. Semi-bold, looks better. Layout, text box, make sure to wrap it and not clip it. Maybe give it a bit more width. And back to the text, we wanna justify it and we want to anchor it to the left. But not the title. Title should still be centered. How do we do that? Right click into the text field, add character level styling. That adds a modifier. You can access the modifier here. And you have to select the text you want to modify in the viewer. And then you can go here and say, I want it to be extra bold. And where is it? Should be centered. And then it's only this text. Okay, looks good. Back to the tools, back to the layout. Rotate it on the prop axis here. And there it looks already like the Star Wars scroll. 6, 7. No, grow up. Back to the transform. Offset. Y-axis. Move it. Scrolls already. Move it out of camera for the first frame. Keyframe. Go to the end. Move it, I don't know, back here. Star Wars, title crawl. Way too quick. I don't know, make it longer. Something about 40 seconds. Back to the Fusion tab. Let's view the things. What do we have? 1050? Yeah. Select this keyframe, move it to position 1050. So we have a slower animation now. Okay, that's probably right. Make it yellow. Not super yellow, a little bit of orange is fine. Let's add a black background. I think it's too. Let's go back to the layout and text box was too wide. I think that's better now. But the relation moved, so we need to have the first keyframe with a bigger offset. So it's out of the camera again. We're losing time on the speed run, though. But basically we're finished. That's the thing. And we need the title. Star Wars. I mean, it's not the proper font, obviously. You know what? No, I'm gonna call it Prompt Wars because it's funnier that way. Increase it. Line spacing can be closer. Needs to be black. And go to the shading, add another shader, add the red outline. It's default, you can rename it. Whatever. And appearance is the outline, and we want to have it yellow. Let's go to this Go to this text layer and copy the color we have. Go back to here and paste the same yellow. And merge that too. Select this for the output view. Okay, we need to move that text too. We can move it in the layout with the center position on the Z axis. Let's start outside of camera view on the first frame, animate the keyframe. I don't know, go about here maybe. Move it there, and then I think the outline keeps the same thickness. So we go into the shader, make sure that the outline is selected, adapt it to the perspective so it changes with the distance too. And okay, that's the outline. What's the next thing? We need to fade it out. So we're going to select the merge node because we have a blend thing here. How much of the foreground is blended with the background. So at this point, we want to have it at 0 and move back a couple of frames and have it at 100%. So it comes in, zooms into the background and starts to fade out. And we also need to move the beginning keyframe of the crawl because at that point we should rename it. That's the crawl text. And that's the logo text. Don't want to have that. We don't want to have that. Close it. Just want to see the crawl displacement, and we are going to move it to frame. Yeah, why not? Select the keyframe. We need more space here on the timeline. Move it to frame 120. So it starts to scroll in when the logo disappeared. Actually, I think it can start sooner. Let's go for 100. Yeah, I guess that's okay. And the last thing we want to have is stars. We're gonna set them up with a particle system. So we need a particle system, a particle renderer, connect that, merge it top of the background. Select the emitter. Per default, it's a circle. We don't want to have that. We go to the region and select all. And also, if we zoom in to the actual size, we see the dots are all the same. That can change in the style. We go to blob. Open up the size controls. And more importantly, the variation of the size. So we have bigger stars and smaller stars, and we're gonna add some noise. So it's okay. I forgot one thing. The particles. We need to stop the particles from emitting, which means we go to frame 1. Animate the number, then we go to frame 0. Yeah, go to frame 0. Keyframe the number. Then we go to frame 1 and keyframe the number to 0. So no new particles are emitted. But in frame 1, we need to increase the number by a huge amount. Let's try 1,000. Maybe even more. I don't know. Yeah, now we should be able to see the die off because the lifespan is too short. So let's make sure we have them live definitely longer than the timeline. We play and we see a little bit of like tiny twinkling in the stars. Also, let's add a gradient into the background. Very dark, bluish, maybe a bit into the purple direction. We can grab them and move them here. So the bluish color, the purplish color is on the bottom. And there we go. Made it. Let's zoom in. You have to imagine the music. I don't want to get in trouble. Oh, we forgot something. We need to add something. So the text is here. The text needs to disappear. Just select the crawl. Add a mask. Invert it. Move it up here. Let's take a look at the end position. So I mask it here, and we want to have a soft edge. Also, we need to make sure that the last frame is covered completely. A little bit less soft edge. Actually, we can move that down way more. So which means if the text is moving into the background, it starts to, I think that's too much by now. Now it's disappearing into nothingness. And there you go. Now we are actually finished. Okay. I don't know. That was weird. It ended up not being really speedrunning. But hey, I think the most important steps are easy to follow and not that complicated. You have to play around with your own values and timings and see what works best for you, what works best for the amount of text you have, or what you are aiming for. So yeah, I hope it helps. Let me know if I should do this again. So a quick tip you maybe want to add for a little bit of spice. If we go back to the crawl text and switch to the shading tab and activate the red outline for that too. I mean, it's by default the red outline. We can call it bleed because I want to go for a bit of slightly a darker shade of the yellow we have with very little thickness and a bit of a softness and tiny amount of glow too. So it just adds the tiniest amount of flair. As if it tried to be an analog practical effect, a little bit of light bleeding. I don't know. You decide. Also for the memes, I found a free MIDI file and rendered it as Chiptune's version of the intro title. So we can add the music now. And now we're perfect.